Welcome back to Dad. Would you like to
do the intro?
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Whoa, a fan.
So if you couldn't tell, there's somebody here.
We're joined once again by a celebrity guest.
Yes.
Celebrity?
Yes.
Would you like to introduce
We're hyping
yourself?
you up.
Sure. My name's Keith, and I'm the proud father of Benjamin.
Aw, that's so cute. My dad didn't say that.
No, he did not. But yes, it's Father's Day still. It has
Happy
not
Father's
ended.
Day. It's
Yes,
the gift
happy
that keeps on
Father's
giving.
Day.
Thank you.
And so we're ending Father's Day with my father. And we're here as we were with the mothers and as we were with Annabelle's father to talk about their favorite movies.
Their favorite film.
Yes. So, Dad, do you want to tell everybody what your one of your favorite movies is?
One of my favorite movies happens to be Groundhog Day.
Yes,
Whoa.
from 1993.
Bill Murray classic.
It is a Bill Murray classic. Yeah. I feel like this is one of the movies that like a lot of people have seen, whether or not they chose to.
I feel whoa. Okay. So you
I think
hate
it's one of those
Groundhog Day.
movies that started out okay and kind of has grown with one of those cult classics over the years.
Yeah,
I agree.
Actually agree, and I did read something about that, but I'll get to that later. But
You've done your research.
yeah, so like I said, everyone has for the most part seen this movie, or at least knows like what it's about, because I feel like a lot of other movies are inspired by it.
For sure. Happy
but
Death Day.
For the people who don't know, Dad, could you give like a brief rundown of like what this movie's about? Feel free to spoil.
Feel free to spoil. Well, it's basically an egotistical news weatherman out of Pittsburgh who gets sent to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania for his annual Groundhog Festival. And while he is there, he gets caught up in a loop where he relives Groundhog Day over and over and over. And there's a lot of debate to how long that time span really is. And I don't know that there's a true definitive answer yet as of this point. But
that was one of my big questions in the movie.
Yeah. In the end, he does break out of the loop. But that's the general gist of the story.
Yes, and there's the romance aspect to it as well.
Yes.
There's a lot of relationship aspects to it. I mean, I think as I've grown, when the movie originally came out, it was just a great comedy. It was funny. And no one really thought a whole lot about it. It was just another comedy with Bill Murray in it. But I think as time goes on and the older you get, there's a couple different other pieces to that movie that kind of you can start to relate to. Basically, not everybody, but a lot of us get up and do the same thing every day. We live Groundhog Day. We get up, we go to work, we go home, get up, go to work, go home. It's something you can relate to. But nonetheless, it is a great movie and a very funny movie. There's a lot of great lines and a lot of good acting. And Andie MacDowell's great. Chris Elliott's great. It's a good movie.
Yeah, cast goes crazy.
I agree.
Andie MacDowell, Chris Elliott. There's some like
Stephen Tobolowsky.
I was going to
Stephen
say, there's some
Tobolowsky.
like small parts that are like somebody that I
Dead
feel
guy
like
from
not
Sex
a lot
and
of
the
people.
City.
Yep, and the voice of Starfire from Teen Titans is in it.
Stop. Packed.
Bill Murray's
Also-
brother's in it.
Really?
This is Michael Shannon's first movie.
Michael Shannon's in this film?
I knew you were going to say that. Yes, Michael Shannon's
Where the
in
hell
this.
is Michael Shannon in this movie?
You know
Does he
the
play
couple
Phil?
that he gets together,
Yes.
Oh.
the newlywed couple. So the
ghost.
voice of Starfire is the girl, and then Michael Shannon
Michael
is
Shannon's
the guy.
I need a rewatch.
Yep, it was his first movie.
Whoa, that's crazy.
But yeah, cast goes crazy. Oh, and then that one guy, yeah, the Sex and the City guy we were talking about.
R.I.P.
Yeah, he's dead though.
He did die.
But yeah, so cast goes crazy. Everyone's great. Andie MacDowell is a little questionable at times.
You sound like
think.
Donna Hayward.
Listen, I love Andie MacDowell.
I like Andie. No, I like Andie MacDowell. I'm not like an
I'm
Andie
an Andie MacDowell
diehard.
fan.
Okay.
She was great in Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Love 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Yeah, she's done a lot of good acting over the years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she's done a lot of good acting. I don't know if I'd say that this is like her best. Some of the things she would react to were just a little interesting.
My biggest takeaway from Andie MacDowell's performance in this movie was the jump scare Southern accent that she'd jump into
Oh my God,
randomly.
yes.
Just like
I don't
halfway
know
through
if
the
you
movie,
picked
she
up on
turns
that,
Southern.
But she does, in fact, randomly get a Southern accent halfway through the movie.
And I get that
Well-
because so do I on this podcast.
But
So
in
it's
her,
fine.
and I don't remember the movie, but her first movie, she's from the South. She had such
Yeah.
a strong Southern accent that Glenn Close voiced over the entire movie.
Oh my
Really?
gosh.
And I wish I remembered the name of the movie, but yeah, Glenn Close voiced over the entire movie.
That's
her
crazy.
so
Southern
funny.
accent was so strong.
Yeah, she's from. Yeah,
She's
you're
from
so
South
right.
Carolina.
It's called Greystoke: The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes.
Whoa.
She played Jane, but
Yep.
yeah, Glenn Close
But
voiced
did she?
over for her.
That's so
crazy.
funny.
Yeah, she's from South Carolina.
Yep.
Yeah.
And clearly she has a Southern accent because halfway through this movie it appears.
It jumps
Yeah.
out. And then it goes away again.
Yeah.
So
But,
she's
like,
managed to rein it in a bit. They should have got Glenn in for the middle.
she's good. Also, did you guys know that her name is Rosalie Anderson McDowell?
No, I
did
did
not know
not.
that.
Yeah, so Andie's technically like a nickname for her
Her
middle,
middle name. Whoa. Were there a ton of Rosalind McDowell's acting that she needed to change it?
Can't imagine there were.
I
Wow.
can't either.
But yeah. So I don't know, but like overall, it's a good cast, and Bill Murray does exactly what Bill Murray does best.
Well, and
plays
if you
himself.
think about it, I know there were some other actors that were offered that role before him. I mean, it was
Interesting.
co-written by one of his best friends at the time, Harold Ramis, who he had done Ghostbusters with, Stripes with. But Bill Murray's kind of known to have that kind of ego-centric personality.
I agree. Yes.
And
Yes.
this movie kind of 9/10 of it, he has that personality throughout the movie. So
He does.
did Harold Ramis really write it for him? We'll never know.
I feel like he probably was
God
like,
rest his
this is how I feel about you.
This is
Bill
how I
Murray."
see you.
Yeah.
It was
But they-
actually
but-
like an intervention.
But they were best friends. Bill Murray's Harold Ramis's daughter's godfather.
Oh.
It's wild.
But
Something-
they blew up and fought so badly during this movie they didn't speak for 20 years.
Really?
Until
Did you?
just before Harold Ramis died, they made back up.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
that's so crazy. Speaking of them like blowing up over this movie, I did find out that during this movie, Bill Murray was going through a divorce
Yes.
during the filming, and like he would incessantly bother Harold Ramis at like 2 a.m. about like this script and like how the character is and like everything about this movie, because he was just trying to like, I guess, channel all of his energy into this movie instead of his divorce. And that was apparently something that led to, I'm guessing, their huge blow
Yes.
up.
Split.
Yeah,
I'm Team
supposedly
Harold.
They didn't see eye to eye on the character and a lot of the ways the movie should go. According to Harold Ramis's daughter, at one point, Harold actually grabbed Bill Murray by the collar and pushed him up against a wall, which they claim is very uncharacteristic for him. That's how bad
I
it
think
got.
Bill drove him to it. I'm
Yeah,
still Team
I-
Oh, I'm
Harold.
sure, yeah.
The things I've heard about Bill Murray,
Yeah. Which I'm disappointed by. I used to really like him because I like a lot of his movies. Like
separate
right.
the art from the artist.
and so yeah, I think that's what I have to do.
Because
Yeah.
he's like the best part of Zombieland.
Oh, 100%. Also what a film.
Well, and he was very good in, what was it, St. Vincent?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I forgot about St. Vincent.
too.
I love St. Vincent.
Yeah, Bill Murray was very good in that movie.
Oh my
He's
God,
honestly
Naomi
good in
Watts.
everything. Everything I've
Yeah.
seen him in, he's always good.
Yeah.
But I agree. I've read the same things about his personality, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's got to be
It's a
tough
shame
to
he
deal
sucks.
with. And if he was going through a stressful time, and I'm sure it kind of bothered him that Harold might have been his boss in this movie. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Like a little
But-
power play
Yeah.
thing.
So, my question for you, Dad, one is, did you see this movie when it came out in 1993?
Yes. Well, I wouldn't say in 93. It was after it was out on VHS.
Okay.
Gotcha. So you didn't see it in the
We
theaters?
did not. No, we. Unfortunately, at that time, we were not seeing many movies in theaters.
Yeah.
So.
Were you drawn to it because it was Bill Murray, or were you drawn to it because it's set in Pennsylvania?
That was going to be my question.
good
I was like, do you
question.
feel an affinity with it because you're a Pennsylvanian?
No, well, I'm sure the Pennsylvania aspect to it was interesting, even though it wasn't filmed there, which would have really made it great. But no, I liked Bill Murray movies. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Bob?
What About Bob's
What
one of my
About Bob?
Also one of my favorite movies.
I thought it was either going to be this or What
and-
About Bob? They were my
And
guesses for you.
I toyed with that one, but it's Groundhog Day's just got a little more of a pizzazz to it. I love
I
What
agree.
About Bob.
I've still never seen it.
You've got
It's
it.
been. Ugh.
Next
I
time
know.
you're back, we'll watch What About Bob.
We'll watch it. I think we need to. I've been teased for years,
But we
and I
will-
need
we
to
will
finally
not-
commit.
We'll not go off track and get onto that movie because that's a whole nother story. But
That's
That's a
another
whole nother
episode.
that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
But no, I really
yeah.
liked Bill Murray. I mean, he was Scrooged, Stripes,
yeah.
Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
Meatballs. I mean, the list is long.
On the Rocks. The list
Oh my
is
God.
endless.
I don't think my dad has seen On the Rocks.
not
Have you seen On the Rocks?
No, I've never heard
It's
of
a
that
Sofia
movie.
Coppola movie.
But
Can't say it's my favorite
I was
movie
gonna say,
in the
I'd
world.
argue that one's probably not worth it. That's not up there with
Lost
his
in
classics.
Translation, that one's
Yeah.
worth
That one's
it.
worth it.
That's the best Bill Murray movie ever made.
That one inspired
Ooh.
Ben's first drink.
Aloha?
oh yes, that's right.
That movie is...
Stella.
Yeah, he's in that movie.
Emma Stone, Woman of Color
He's
Reveal.
probably
I
made
love
more
that
movies
film.
than we can think of. That list
Truly,
is
we
probably
could
His
very
filmography
literally
must
go
be
long.
on
insane.
for like 30 minutes.
But no, Bill Murray and the whole concept. I mean, it was a comedy, and I do like comedies, so
Yeah.
that's why I originally watched this movie. And again, originally it was just a comedy, but then, like I said, you kind of think about it, and then if you start thinking about it even more, the personality kind of fits Bill Murray in the movie, and as he discovers he's in this loop, I mean, he kind of fights it in the beginning. He's trying to find ways to kill himself, destroy himself, you name it, he's doing it. Electrocution, drinking,
Yeah.
driving a truck off a cliff with a groundhog at the wheel.
That's the one.
And then he kind of starts to accept it and start helping people. And to the point, he's helping the homeless man. He's helping the woman with the flat tire. He catches the boy falling out of the tree. And it gets to be that cycle that he goes through that. And then he starts to improve himself. He learns to play the piano because now we're trying to impress the girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We play the piano, we try to become a little more sophisticated, and overall he just tries to completely improve himself to be a better person and not so egotistical and selfish.
Yeah.
To the point that, the change finally gets to where he's at that point that the loop breaks.
It's like I said to Annabelle when we were watching it, I said it's like sort of It's a Wonderful Life or Christmas
Yeah.
Carol, where it's like
Yep.
becoming a good person is what breaks the loop, I guess.
Absolutely. But he also gets the girl. He does it all.
But he gets the
Gets
girl.
the
It's like a sexier
And-
Christmas Carol.
And he kind of, in another way, goes through the stages of grief. there's
Yeah.
if you think about it from that perspective.
Denial, anger, yeah.
Yes.
That's true.
Acceptance.
Yeah.
The other
whole
two.
way. Yeah.
Literally said that this movie is kind of just like an anti-suicide movie.
Don't kill yourself, you're so
Wow.
sexy, haha.
Yeah, it's like, don't
this
kill
film.
yourself. You can do so much better. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was kind of one of the messages that I did
Or
get
like,
from
be a nice
this
person,
movie.
it'll get you out of your rut.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But, again, in 93, it was a comedy. It was funny, and you didn't really think about it in all of these other terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as
Well-
time goes on and you watch it, now that it's on every year on Groundhog Day all day long,
I noticed that this year. I
Yeah.
watched it in February and it just kept playing like
Yep,
3
all day long.
times on AMC.
Yeah.
it's a Christmas Story on Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day
Yeah.
all
So
day
funny.
long.
I love that.
But
Well, like you said, this movie, like, as time went on, it became more of like a cult classic because I was digging into like how critics like responded to this movie, and when it first came out, it was like pretty neutral and pretty just like
Interesting.
riding the line. It was very like, this is a fine movie, but then a lot of those like famous movie critics changed their review years later to be higher.
That's
thought
impact.
because-
That's powerful.
But now originally though, Robert Ebert
Yeah.
gave it a perfect score. He loved the movie when it first came out.
Wow. He was
Yeah,
ahead of
I was gonna say,
the time.
I know a lot of them. Yeah, I was gonna say it's honestly, it's like held up. I think it's like a good.
I agree.
It's a very good like classic rom-com like movie. Like you can
Right.
tell that it's just like a good movie. There's nothing like that would make it be problematic or anything.
It's not
just
problematic
the
at all.
actor. Yeah.
No,
Apart from the lead.
It's aged well and it's still appropriate today. It's not
Yeah.
getting left out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when they play it all day, every day on the 2nd
February
of February.
2nd. Yep.
Yeah.
Apparently, I read that this movie caused Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania to be like huge.
That makes sense because when we watched it the other day, I said I want to go to Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
But my thing is like, does it make sense? Because Groundhog Day was already a thing. Like, it's
I was
not
gonna say,
like.
It may have increased it even more. I don't know. I mean, Punxsutawney always had a big crowd before this movie.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean,
That's true.
There's a small college there. Those kids are all out partying. It was a big event prior to the movie.
I
Now,
wanna go to
maybe some
Punxsutawney.
more people.
Maybe like internationally.
Yeah, it started
it
growing
showed
that
up.
way. And now
Because,
I
like,
believe.
No,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that like it's a holiday. Like
Yes.
there's no. I don't understand why this movie would suddenly make Punxsutawney a tourist
No.
attraction.
No.
I personally didn't know. I mean, I guess I was a child when I watched it, but I didn't know that Groundhog Day was real when I watched the movie as a child. I thought it was just a movie thing. And then I Googled it and I was like, wait, you guys do that every year? That's
Yeah.
crazy. A groundhog comes out of the ground to tell you, like, if it's going to be cold. That's wild.
Yes. And now the town in Illinois, I guess right outside Chicago, also celebrates Groundhog Day. They now have a big festival as well.
Because of that's where it was
Because
filmed.
That's
that's
so
where it's
cute.
filmed.
They've got all the shots.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
That's like what 50 minutes outside of where Bill Murray grew up.
Now that I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
do you think he demanded that it be filmed there?
So that he could go home.
He didn't have to travel far.
Maybe, or maybe they just couldn't get Punxsutawney, or Punxsutawney wasn't pretty enough.
Well, I think it was pretty. I think they were at the time actually hoping for winter in Chicago when they filmed it, because they've got more of a winter than we do. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that year. But
I was gonna say the snow looks fake.
yeah, it was.
So-
They had a very mild winter the year they filmed it. But I'm thinking that's why, here in central Pennsylvania, it's hit and miss. Usually more miss than hit. Where if you get outside of Chicago, typically it's more of a colder winter.
Yeah. I personally, regarding Bill Murray's character, Annabelle actually mentioned this, and I like completely agree. And it's that I feel like it doesn't establish his narcissism quite enough. I feel like he needs to be like, I don't know, meaner or just like
I feel like
But
I remembered him grumpier growing up. I was like, yeah, because I knew the archetype. And then watching it, I was like, he's not that mean.
He's not horrible. Yeah.
Well,
He's there to do
in
his
the
job.
beginning, he's very egotistical. I mean, he's too good to be there. This is going to be his
Yeah.
last year going to Punxsutawney for the news station. You know, he
That's true. But I don't know. I just feel like in the beginning, I was like, he's not the worst. Like, I picture like Ebenezer Scrooge, who's like refusing to like help people out on Christmas, even though he's a millionaire, and it's like this horrible person who won't let his employees off. Like, I was like, that's an awful guy. But like this one, I was just like, oh, he's like a little narcissistic, but like,
well,
it's
He just doesn't
not
want to
bad.
be there.
It's not horrible.
He just wants to go home.
I mean, I think though a lot of people, and I shouldn't say maybe a lot's overstating it. A lot of people in the entertainment industry have very big heads and very big egos, and you have to manage the talent. That's
Yeah.
what Andie MacDowell's job is. Manage the
That's
talent.
true.
Yeah.
She's too pretty to be behind the scenes. She should have been the
I
the
agree.
news anchor on camera.
She's also too pretty to be with Bill Murray.
That's so true. That's so true.
Wow.
What is the age difference?
That's such a good question.
There's got to be one.
How old was Bill Murray in that movie as well?
They have a it's only a 7-year age
I was
difference.
going to say, I bet it's not that big. He
A lot
just
can
looked
happen in 7
he
years.
just looked older in '93 than he probably actually was.
He's always looked old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's looked the same age
33.
for quite a bit of his life. He was 33 in
Oh,
that
sorry.
movie.
No, he was 43.
Okay.
I read it wrong.
I was like, surely that man had hit 40.
He was 43.
Okay.
So she was like late 30s.
Yeah.
She looked
Okay.
bomb for
She
her
looked
age.
great.
She still looks
yeah.
bomb.
She does. That's what Hugh Grant said when they presented together. He was like, one of us aged badly, guess which one?
It was not Andie MacDowell.
It was never Andie MacDowell.
No. But yeah, and also something that I read regarding the script was
You
that
fully did your research.
Wow.
Oh, I did some digging.
You guys are both bringing so much research to the table. I don't know a thing about this movie.
Except the plot.
You didn't
Except
know
the
Groundhog Day existed.
90-minute duration. Exactly. I thought this was completely fictional.
Well,
I thought Punxsutawney was fake.
So what we really
But,
have to do is bring you to Punxsutawney for Groundhog Day.
No,
sometime.
I want to go.
would
I've
love
never even been to
to.
Punxsutawney.
Let's go.
I want to go.
February
I think we should
2nd.
take a road trip.
Let's go.
All
We're all
right.
going.
But no, something that I read was that the script was originally supposed to start. The movie was supposed to start with the day that kept repeating. And so the audience didn't know that it was like a repeating day, and they like learned it like later on. And so we were supposed to be like just as confused as like Bill Murray was, and then it was supposed to like, but they like promised that they wouldn't change it, but then they ended up changing it. I'm not sure why, but
Interesting.
a part of me thinks that the reasoning was because we wouldn't have
We wouldn't have got it.
Understood it.
like we
Also,
wouldn't have really
yeah.
gotten the like understood that his character was this narcissistic guy that needed to be changed.
100%. Because, yeah, if we're like relating to him because we're both confused, we're probably not going to resent him for being narcissistic.
Yeah.
We'll be like on his side more.
And who's going to want to sit there for 3/4 of a movie trying to figure out that it's the same day over and over and over?
No, literally.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
for like a mainstream comedy in the 90s. I don't think people want that from their comedies.
I
I
don't
will
think-
take that from an
yeah.
indie film in the mid 2000s.
Yes, it's yeah. I was gonna say it's not really like the vibe of like a classic rom-com movie, but
Yeah.
so something that I also read relates to what you had mentioned, Dad, about like how long the
Yes.
time loop was supposed to take.
Yep.
So there's a few theories. The writer Harold Ramis once said that it is approximately 10 years
10 years?
of him being in this loop. And then he said that because he believes that he believes that it's supposed to take about 10 years to become good at like an activity like the piano and ice sculpting. And he said
Whoa.
that and then he said from like downtime and misguided years that it could have been around 30 to 40.
I heard 30 to 40.
Yeah. So
I thought it was like 6 months.
no.
40 years.
Annabelle, if
And
you can
then-
learn to play the piano like that in 6 months,
I'm
Yeah.
on
You're
it.
on.
Challenge accepted.
you're on.
Let's see
I
it.
will meet you 6 months from this day
Yeah.
and play a concerto.
And then there's in the original concept draft of the movie, they mentioned that it was 70 to 80 years,
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
which answers Annabelle's question of does he age but nobody else does? No,
Oh,
he does
yeah.
not age.
Answer is no. Yeah, throughout the
He
movie I was
stays
like,
the same
is
age.
he going to
Well-
physically change but everyone else stays the same? What's the law of this loop?
Yeah, because nobody
But there you
aged
go.
in the movie.
Yeah,
Obviously.
despite
Yeah.
it being 30 to 40 years.
Yeah. So I'm with
That's
Annabelle.
why I
It was
thought
6
mentally
months.
it was 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, you're not going to age because you're repeating the same,
Same
day
day.
over and over again. So you wake up at the same age that you were on the previous day.
That's wild.
True. That's
Yeah.
true.
I thought maybe,
so
like,
everyone else
everyone
is
was
going
just
through the
acting
same day
exactly
as well,
the same.
just not knowing
Yeah,
it.
so
He
yeah,
just
they're just
knows it.
unaware. But just because he knows, he's still being reverted back to that day. So he's
Right.
not going to age. He's going to just be a day older.
That's crazy.
He's basically immortal. That's like Dracula or something.
I think I would love that. And I
Dracula.
said this while we were watching it. I feel like if you were stuck in the loop with someone, it would be so fun.
Well, that's that Catherine Newton and Kyle Allen movie.
Oh,
Map of Tiny Little
Map
Stars?
of Tiny Pretty Things. No, yeah.
Tiny Little
that one.
Stars.
Yeah, that's the one.
Aren't they like stuck in a time loop together?
Yeah, and they're miserable. And I'm like, smile. Buck up.
Yeah.
You've got a friend.
Smile, you're together.
Come on. You're not Bill Murray.
Groundhog Day 2, but it's Bill Murray and Andie MacDowell both stuck in a time loop together.
That's
and
kind
they have
of
to fix their
ideal.
marriage.
Wait, that's
Now,
so
there was
good.
talk of a Groundhog 2, but it never happened, I don't believe.
Well, we just come up with a plot, I think.
Let's
Well, there you
pitch
go.
it.
I
Yeah,
think
I-
that's honestly that'd be bomb.
That's so
I
good.
thought there was a plot to a time they were talking about doing a sequel, but I don't think
We also did pitch a
happened.
sequel where, because I wanted both the Phils to be stuck in a time loop. So I wanted
yeah.
Phil the Groundhog to also be reliving the same day and really confused as well. So I want another movie from the perspective of Phil the Groundhog.
Hog.
But
Yeah.
he's like, why is
Well,
this happening again? I have to come out every single day. I want
Annabelle is really desperate to know why they're both named Phil.
that. I was trying to find a connection. I was
Well-
like, why are they both called Phil?
Well, I mean, the Groundhog was always named Phil.
He's
I mean,
allowed
that's
to be
what we
called
call
Phil.
him.
I'll give him
So-
that.
Yeah.
So for the movie's sake, the weatherman should also be named Phil.
That's what I said. I was like, it's sort
To
of
tie
like a
him to the
connection to
Groundhog
the
Day.
to the
To
the
the
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, that's the significance of the day. And that's why that day in particular appears. Okay,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
They did a whole thing. They like raised a whole family of groundhogs for this movie.
Really?
Yeah. And
Did
then
an
they killed
actual
them
groundhog-
afterwards.
What?
I'm kidding.
Well, you know, they lost one when they drove the
Holy
truck
Peter.
into the quarry. They, you know,
Yeah, I was gonna say, did they teach them how to drive?
yes.
Yeah, they
Oh, he
taught
was
them how to
good at
drive.
driving. These were well
He's
trained
way better than me.
groundhogs.
He's got more
Yeah.
experience behind the wheel than me. Good for him.
Yeah, they raised a whole family though. It is true. That part's true. They didn't kill him, but they raised a whole family of groundhogs for this movie, which
I would like to know
It's
where they
kinda
went
crazy.
afterwards.
I know. I want to know what they did with them. Did they release
'Cause
them
maybe
into the
you're right.
wild?
Were they
don't know.
then used
that-
as actual groundhogs for Groundhog Day?
Were these the same family that they used in Caddyshack, or
Oh my gosh. Wait, well, Caddyshack was before this, wasn't
yeah,
it?
Caddyshack was before this.
What's the lifespan of a groundhog?
That's a great question. And I'll tell you it right now. A groundhog lives
Thank you.
in up to 2 to 3 years is average.
Depending on how close to
That's
a road they
such a
live.
short little life.
It can live up to 6 years. However, if the groundhog is in captivity, it will live up to 14 years.
Oh, okay. That's a big
So they
difference.
could have made both movies.
More than double, yeah.
Yeah.
How-
That's
them.
crazy.
So for the real Groundhog Day, I wonder how long those groundhogs turn over.
Well, I was saying this to Annabelle. I don't actually know if this is true, and you might know more than I do. But, like, isn't the groundhogs that they use for Groundhog Day, like, a family that they have been, like, consistently breeding?
I don't know. We'll have to
Like the royal
inquire.
family.
Yeah,
like
like
the
the royal
monarchy.
family, but they're groundhogs.
Maybe if we go out to
You guys got rid of the
Punxsutawney, we
monarchy,
can
but
get
you
those
kept
answers.
it in Punxsutawney.
I was gonna say, honestly, I personally think we should do a trip to Punxsutawney. And
I would literally love nothing more.
I think that'd be fun.
100%.
Yeah, I've never. We've run, at work, we've run some bus trips to Punxsutawney for the celebration, but I myself have never gone.
Let's go.
I think we'll have to go.
February
I think it'll be
2nd,
so
save the
fun.
date.
Save the date.
I'll be there.
But
Yeah, no. But okay, so overall as a movie, I have to say I loved it.
I also loved it. I love Groundhog Day.
It's a great movie and it's so fun and it's like I said, it has inspired so many movies. And it's just like a classic.
yeah, I mean, it's, here we are, 30 years later, 31 years later
Watching
now.
it again and
Still
again
watching
and
it.
again.
Yeah. What would you rate this out of 5 or 10?
Well, which is
Dad.
it, 5 or 10, Ben?
You can pick.
5 stars or just out of 10.
Well, if we go out of 10, I would probably give it a good, strong 9.
All
Okay.
right.
Not a
Everyone's
10?
hesitant to give their favorite
I
movie
don't know
a
what I
10.
would give it 10. I don't know any movie I would give a 10, but I'll
See,
give it a
that's
strong
crazy to me.
9. I mean, what's the
9.9.
perfect movie?
La
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 Land.
Land.
La La Land. What about Bob?
No.
I will determine when I've seen. Maybe it'll tip over La La Land. That'd be my favorite film. We'll
Oh
see.
my gosh, there's no way it will tip over La La Land. I'm
We'll
sorry.
see.
Your world will
What
be
would-
changed.
Annabelle, what did you
I'm
give
ready.
it?
I gave it an 8 out of 10 or a 4 out of 5 stars.
That's what I gave it. An
Yes.
8.
See, if we were going to give on a scale of 5, I would have given it a 5. But since we're going all the way to 10,
What's the difference?
Well,
you can just
you know.
multiply it by 2.
it's like a 4 is too low, so I'd have to go 5. But if I'm going to 10, a 9's right
You
there.
could do a 4.5.
You can do 4. Well,
Oh,
just give it like a 9.9.
All right, 9.8.
We'll call it that. Oh
I'm
my
going to call
gosh,
it
not
an
even a
honorary
9.9.
10.
An honorary 10 since it's your favorite movie.
All right, honorary 10. It is sold.
Okay. Now, I have some hypothetical questions for the both of you.
Oh my
That I'd
god.
love to know the answers to.
Okay.
So the first thing I want to know is, what would you guys do if your life was on a loop? Like, if you had one day that was on loop, what would you do?
Well,
I wouldn't
certainly
throw
win-
myself out a window.
I would certainly win the lottery.
Oh,
That's so
yeah.
true.
You wouldn't kill yourself.
I wouldn't kill myself 5 times.
5.
I feel
6,
like, do you think it would ever come to a point where you would try after like,
I think at some
30
point you would
years?
get so frustrated. Yeah, I mean, especially at the beginning. It's like,
in the
You've gotta
beginning,
get
I feel like that's when I would try things. Like, I would try to do things in the beginning. And then when I
Yeah.
realized that like it's never
and it was-
ending.
yeah, right. You've got to get frustrated enough to say, okay, enough's enough. And then still wake up the next morning.
I also feel like it wouldn't take me 30 to 40 years for me to realize, wow, I'm an asshole. Maybe I should change.
That's true.
I feel like, why did it take him 30 years to realize that?
But how did he realize that even if he did, that's what was going to make him change?
Stop it. No,
That's
yeah,
true.
you're right.
He didn't
just
know the lore of
naturally
the town.
changed.
I mean,
Also,
Yeah.
it was harder for him to change because he was an asshole. If you're not an asshole, you could see that you just be a better
But I'm
person.
an
That's the
asshole.
answer. But if you're an asshole and you don't realize you're an asshole, you think you're already perfect.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what would you change then? Because you would have no motivation or
You
anything to
wouldn't.
change.
He just
Yeah.
naturally changed over
Right.
30 years.
He just
Yeah.
naturally did it. Because
That's true.
if you
Because what
knew
are you to
that's
do
what-
if you've seen the same day for 30
Right.
years?
if you knew that was the trick, you would definitely start it a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then that makes me want to ask you guys, what day would you guys want your loop to be?
Like one that's already
Wow.
happened in my life, or just a day of the year where I think the weather would be nice.
Stop.
Like jacket day.
I want both answers. So like a day of the year that you would like prefer to have constantly on loop, like Christmas Day, although you'd get sick of it.
That's true. There'd be no
or-
novelty.
Yeah, I'd feel like I'd pick like a random day in like September.
I feel like I'd pick August 4th.
That's your birthday.
It is.
You would get so sick of your birthday, you'd never want to have another one.
That's true. Maybe August 3rd, so I'd feel that anticipation.
Oh my god, the anticipation is a constant.
So when I finally do get to August 4th, it's the best birthday I've ever had.
Oh my gosh. What about you, Don? What day would you pick?
You know, that's a really tough question. I mean, I've had a lot of really, really good days in my life. I mean, my wedding day was fabulous.
But would you want to relive your wedding day over and over
really
again for 30 years?
It was a good day.
That might end
That's
your
so
marriage.
cute. My parents did not give that answer.
You know, I've got a lot of, you know, the birth of you and your sister were great days.
You want to watch a baby come out of a woman for loop on loop?
A woman, your mother, Ben.
I was gonna say, it's not just any woman.
No,
Her name's
but like,
Diane,
you
and you know
watch a
her
baby
quite
be
well.
born constantly. Every single day you wake up, you're like, I have to watch a baby get born. You would leave
if it's
halfway
you,
through, like 20
yes.
years in. You'd be like, I'm not going to see it anymore. I'm sick
All right,
of
that's
it.
it. We're done with this.
I get it, he's coming.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of good days. Most of them don't involve work.
That's valid. That's
Yeah.
why you relate to this movie, is because you feel like you wake up every day.
It is. And I bet I'm not alone. I bet it's a lot of people. Your life
Annabelle's
is
mother.
your life is Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
And like the movie, until you really find something to change and do it yourself, it's not going to change.
that's true. Life can be monotonous. I guess it's like a wake-up call
Yeah.
for everyone watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, go out there and do something about it.
That's
Guys,
the only
change
way
your
it's going
lives.
to change. And
It's
Bill
true.
Murray did do something about it. It just took him
He got a divorce.
30 years.
Yep. Bill Murray did exactly the right thing about it.
No, you gotta go out there and you gotta make your dreams a reality. That's what I'm learning from this movie.
Absolutely. Don't sit at home and manifest. Go out and make it happen.
So true, but also manifest.
But
No
also
one's going to make it happen for you.
Amen. Couldn't agree more.
I'm inspired.
I am seeing here on the page for this movie is the two big inspirations that this movie had on subsequent movies is Happy Death Day.
Yes.
Which I don't think my dad has seen.
I've seen the first one.
Oh, have you?
Yes. But I don't
Do you
think I've
like
seen
it?
I've not seen any of the other ones.
I think there's only one other one.
Happy Death Day to you.
I think they're making a third one, aren't they?
I've heard.
I could be wrong on that.
I heard
I
that
haven't
they
seen
were.
the first one. I may
Yeah,
not have
that
seen the
is-
whole movie, but I've seen bits and pieces of it.
That one is entirely inspired by Groundhog Day, and
Okay.
the Map of Tiny Perfect Things is what it's called.
Not
but that is the
two
other one.
movies that
I've
have
never
already
heard
got
of that.
shout outs on this podcast.
Those are the two big movies that were inspired by Groundhog
well,
Day.
there you go.
Yeah.
I can
feel
see it.
like we need a sequel, is what I'm hearing.
We've
Of
got to
Groundhog
look.
Day?
I swore at some point in time I heard they were working on one, but it never came to fruition.
Yeah, that's really depressing.
That is sad. I don't think it's too late, though.
It's never too
Especially,
late.
it's
I
never
agree.
too late. And like, we better do it before Bill Murray like kicks the can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old is he currently?
It's like 73.
I was gonna say, he's got
Okay, he's got a while.
Well, it depends on his health, I guess.
That's
Which puts
true,
Andie
but
MacDowell in her 60s. Maybe it
Yeah,
could
she's
happen to like their
66.
children.
she's thriving.
One of their kids.
Margaret Qualley.
Margaret
Didn't we
Qualley
say
and Bill.
that?
We did, and Bill Murray's kid should do it together.
I don't know. Oh, he has 6 sons, so that's perfect.
Oh, she's got 6 options for a co-star.
Yeah, that would kill. That'd be so good.
That'd be great. Why? We've come up with all these pictures. Why haven't Hollywood?
I don't know.
What if it
What are
was
they doing?
Groundhog Day 2 and it's the kids of Bill Murray and Andie MacDowell? They have a child. Their child is getting married, and the day before their marriage, her husband like runs out on her, and she has to like find him in the day, and it keeps repeating until she like finds him.
Whoa. That's beautiful. And that it also follows the theme of Bill Murray and Andie MacDowell saving marriages.
Yes.
That's
Wow,
incredible.
This is getting deep.
There's so many
Yeah.
movies that they could make from this concept.
Exactly.
absolutely.
Let's just churn them out.
I'm just surprised there aren't more.
I could see like a Groundhog Day 6. Like, this is gonna keep going. It's a dynasty.
It's turning into Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Just a
Fast and the
franchise.
Furious.
Planet of the Apes lives Groundhog Day.
That'd be
That'd be
so
great.
good.
Let's just
it's
chuck
Caesar.
Groundhog Day into everything else.
It's literally just Caesar the monkey living Groundhog Day. Oh my gosh, I'd watch that.
I would too. I've never seen Planet of the Apes, confession.
You haven't
but
seen a single Planet of the
never
Apes?
not a
seen any
single
of them?
one. Not a single one, but I
There's-
would watch the Groundhog Day one.
Not
They're
even
actually
the old
good.
ones?
No.
Oh
Yeah,
my
they're actually
goodness.
good movies.
It's embarrassing. I need to get on it.
So
You do need to get on it.
You've missed What About Bob?
Yeah.
You've
the
missed
list
Planet
is
of the
stacking
Apes.
up. What have I seen?
I'm starting to
nothing at this
wonder.
point.
Did you really see La La Land?
Stop.
It comes out. I've never seen it. I've never
That'd be
seen a movie.
Crazy plot twist.
That'd be wild.
Speaking of movies, Dad, what are some of your other favorite movies besides, like, what could we have seen on this list that we might have watched today instead of Groundhog Day?
Well,
Yes.
you know,
What about Bob?
obviously, What About Bob?
Yes. I thought it was going to be What About Bob?
You did?
Yeah.
You know how much I like that movie. I do like that movie. And that again is just one of those movies you can just sit and laugh at. Although in that movie you don't really, I mean there is a little deepness to it, but it doesn't, not as much as Groundhog Day presents.
Yeah, it's a little more surface level.
Yes. You know, there's numerous James Bond movies that I really like.
Oh, yes.
We could
Casino
have gone
Royale.
that
That's
route.
the
Casino
one.
Royale, Die Another Day.
Octopussy.
That was kind of cheesy.
No, that one's so bad.
No offense to Roger Moore, but most of his were pretty cheesy.
Daniel Craig is the best James
Daniel
Bond.
Craig is the best Bond. I did kind of like some of the early ones with Sean Connery. I did like them all, and actually, Timothy Dalton. I know he takes a lot of bad PR as being James Bond. I thought the couple he did were pretty good. But
I don't even know if I've seen a single Timothy Dalton James Bond movie.
really,
I don't think so.
yeah,
I don't
his
know if
are
I've seen
pretty
a
good.
single James Bond.
A single James Bond?
My lord.
Criminal.
I've seen like it's been on TV and I've been in the room.
This podcast episode is just outing you as a fake movie fan.
I don't think I could be a co-host on this podcast anymore.
I don't think you've seen a single movie.
I don't think
I don't
I've
think
ever
so.
seen a movie.
Have you seen Groundhog Day?
No. Sounds really good though. Thanks for talking it up.
That's why you never do the plot rundown.
Yeah, because I've never seen a movie.
Oh my gosh. Dad, I thought you were going to put like Airplane.
Another
That was one of my dad's
Spaceballs.
favorites.
See now, if I Spaceballs, Spaceballs is again just one of those movies you can sit down and laugh at and thoroughly enjoy. But you know, most people, well, I don't know, probably not one. Airplane, great movie, big
Incredible
cast,
film.
Kills.
Love
big
that movie.
big cast, a lot of one-liners, really
Yep.
funny movie.
We talked about that movie with Annabelle's dad, and I was like, my dad would say the
It's
same
one of his
thing.
favorites.
And-
It's one of my mom's favorites. Classic.
And the woman in that movie, the main,
Julie Haggerty.
is also in.
She's
What about
the man.
Bob?
Oh, she.
Really?
She plays Richard Dreyfuss's wife.
Oh my gosh. She's also in.
She is in She's
She's
the Man. Yes. True, like you have a
That's
secret.
what I think of when I see Julie Haggerty.
Yes.
No, you got to go right to What About Bob? She's there.
I will
Main character.
soon.
I was gonna say we should watch What About Bob.
I think I've heard so much about it that it's time to commit
I
to the
have
bit.
not seen it in an insane. Like I don't even know, and I don't even know if I've seen it in its entirety at this point.
It's giving Yentl.
It is giving Yentl, and watch me love it because
I was gonna
Yentl
say
kills.
Yentl was so good.
My dad loves Yentl.
Mom talked you guys into Yentl, didn't she?
Talked us into it. She didn't need to. That movie was so
It was.
good.
I went in expecting nothing and came out shouting its praises.
So, do you like
I love that
Yentl
movie.
better or Fiddler on the Roof better?
Yentl.
I don't know Fiddler on the Roof.
Leah Michelle was in it on Broadway when she was 12, so I've seen that bootleg, but I've never seen the movie.
Okay.
I've never seen the movie or like any production of it, so I don't really know Fiddler on the Roof.
Okay, I like the music in Fiddler on the Roof better.
And it's a great story.
The music in Yentl sucks.
The music in Yentl is not it, but the movie's
story
great.
in Yentl is
She's the man.
beautiful. It's literally she's the man.
Julie Haggerty is never far away.
Julie Haggerty has come up on this pod a little too often, I'd say.
She's the thread linking everything together.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no,
Bet she never
Yentl
thought that would
kills.
happen in her life.
I know. She's more famous now than ever.
Hey,
On this podcast.
Hey, true. Okay. Yeah. But no, I was gonna say I was trying to guess what movie you would bring to the table. My first guess was What About Bob, but
Yeah, no, it crossed my
Groundhog
mind.
Day is a good choice.
Yeah,
Good
I
choice.
just thought there'd be more to discuss in Groundhog Day. A lot
I
of
agree.
backstories.
Very true. It's got the comedy, it's got the depth,
But
It's got
it's got the
romance.
cast, it's got the romance.
and to me, the funny part now is looking back on it is, yeah, when we first watched this movie, it was purely just a comedy. Didn't really think about it. It was just funny. A new
There's like
concept.
existential stuff to it and everything. Like,
Yeah. I could
it's pretty-
spiral if I was in a mood when I watched it, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, you're so right. I could totally go down like a rabbit hole and actually want to die a little bit.
100%. If I felt really stuck and in a really like monotonous rut, I'd want to end it all.
Yeah. So
Like
this
Bill.
movie is pretty deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy.
And it's done by pure comedy people. I mean, Harold Ramis isn't really
I
known
know,
for
yeah.
Yeah.
doing any kind of drama work. His are all comedies that he's
And just
either
putting
been
Bill
in
Murray
or
in there.
wrote or acted in. Yeah.
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 So.
It's
And
just
I believe
everyone has depth.
And they did talk. I thought like Tom Hanks was one of the first people they talked to about the
Yes.
role.
Oh.
I did read
and
that.
I could see that.
I thought there was somebody else. I'm trying to think who else turned it down.
I did read that they denied Tom Hanks because they thought he was too nice.
I
Well,
agree with
He
that.
probably is.
He probably is.
Not an
And-
Elvis.
But like he's an actor, you know what I mean? Like that's why I'm like, why are you saying that like the person themselves is too nice? Like they're gonna act the part.
I agree with that, but I feel like maybe they were like, the audience associates you with being nice. They won't take you seriously as being grumpy and a
Maybe.
curmudgeon.
Well, I always think of Woody Allen, who in Midnight in Paris said that he wanted to hire Rachel McAdams, but he wasn't sure because he thought she was too nice and he didn't know if she could play a mean girl,
That's so funny.
which is really funny considering she's
She is
quite
the mean girl.
famously known as the mean girl.
Mean Girl.
Yeah. What was
But,
he doing
yeah.
in 2004?
I'm just like, why? Like they're actors. Like let them
Let them act.
act
Let
because
them
maybe they'll
act.
surprise you. I don't know.
Tom Hanks, I could see.
But everybody already knows Bill Murray's. I mean, from Stripes, from Ghostbusters, he is that egotistical.
Yeah,
Strong.
it's just Bill Murray.
It's
yeah.
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
I don't think he's acting. I think that's Bill Murray.
I
That's
agree.
true.
No, it very much feels like he was playing himself.
Plus, like
Yeah.
he's
From
worked
everything
with
I know about
the director
him.
so much in the past. So
Yeah, it was a bit of a nepo hire.
yeah, nepo hire. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my pick. I mean, I thoroughly
Great
enjoyed
movie.
Groundhog Day.
Great movie.
Yep.
Had a great
Thumbs
time
up.
watching it. I love I Got You Babe by Cher and Sunny.
So does Tom Hanks or Tom Hanks, Bill
Bill
Murray.
Murray.
Tom Hanks coulda.
Every morning
He
at
almost
6
did.
o'clock.
Yeah.
6 a.m.
Even when he breaks
Oh,
the
the
pencil,
day that-
and it's put back together the next morning.
Yeah.
Yep. The day that I would want on a loop, I would not want it to start at 6 a.m. That's my...
You want it to
yeah.
start at like
Stipulation.
9:30, 10.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But
Breakfast
okay,
already made.
here's a lore
Lovely.
question I have, Annabelle,
Yes.
for your lore.
Thank you.
So, yes, he wakes up every morning at 6 a.m. Mm-hmm. One, what happens? Does this happen in the movie? I don't know. What happens if he stays up past 6 a.m.?
Oh, yeah, if he doesn't go to sleep.
If he doesn't go to sleep or doesn't kill himself?
We never saw that.
Well,
So-
he tried to the one night.
Did he?
He
But he
tried
didn't
to and then
make
he
it.
fell asleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
He and
but I'm
Andy tried to
sorry.
stay
If
up
you
and then he
really
fell asleep at,
tried,
like,
you
3.
You could do it.
Yeah,
I
like
want to
drink
know
some
what would
coffee.
happen if you stayed up past. And two, when you wake up at 6 a.m, are you refreshed are you getting the amount of hours of sleep that you got from the previous day, or is it based on when you like went to sleep or like ended your life the day before?
I think it starts at 6 o'clock every day, just as it did the day before at 6 o'clock.
So he's
Doesn't
waking
matter.
up with the amount of hours that he
Yes.
had from the previous day,
Yep.
no matter what.
Regardless,
Wow.
it's that 6 o'clock that first day.
So he could have stayed up till 5:59 a.m. and then he wakes up at 6,
And
fully
he's
rested.
like fully rested, yeah.
I want that.
I want to see what happens when he tries to stay up past 6, because I'm sorry, grow up. You can probably keep yourself awake.
I would have done that probably accidentally if I were the lead of that film.
Literally, you just have something on, or like drink a Celsius.
Drink
I
a
don't know.
Celsius. I want
You'll be
Groundhog
fine.
Day 2. He stays up till 6 a.m. and the movie's sponsored by Celsius.
That'd be killer.
That's it.
Think of the perfect day, though, he had at the end. Everything went right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He
To
saved
end the loop.
everybody. He got the girl. He
Just the girl.
He,
Yeah.
That whole day was just like the perfect
Sculpted
day.
ice.
Sculpted
Though imagine
ice
just
played.
embarking on a normal life after 40 years of living the same day.
Oh my god.
And then you eventually get to February 3rd and you're like, what?
Literally, that's half his life spent in one day.
Yeah.
Performed the
Thrilling.
Heimlich maneuver. He
Yeah.
Got a couple married or whatever.
got him the wrestling tickets at least.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Got, jacked up the woman's car to change their tire before they even knew they had a flat tire.
Yeah.
Got a marriage back
Cop-
together.
Caught the boy out
Yeah.
of the tree.
Yeah.
Yep. He did it all, and then he broke the loop.
and
I feel
broke
like I'd
the-
go forward with a perfectionist complex. I'd be like, okay, well then February 3rd, I can't orchestrate the perfect day, and every other day is just going to be imperfect from now on.
Yeah.
But would you be afraid of the next February 2nd?
That's so true, actually. I probably would live in fear of Groundhog Day for my entire life.
Because they kind of indicated on the last day that he knew he broke the loop as they got up the next morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
So
it'll happen again.
would
next
you
year.
dread February 2nd coming again the next year?
I feel I
Maybe.
would just because trauma.
Or like something goes wrong on a day that's not in the loop, and then you just like instinctively kill yourself because you spent 40 years of your
That's
life.
so true.
like,
Muscle
trying to kill
memory.
yourself.
So February 1st is it. It's over.
So like he just accidentally kills
Like,
himself
oh,
for
whoops.
real. Yeah.
I don't know.
You forget how to drive because the groundhog's been doing it for you every
yeah,
day.
literally. But no, yeah, I think that's
I was gonna say, do we have
a good
any more
choice.
comments?
Any more thoughts about
any
the
more
movie?
last thoughts about the movie?
I've thought it out.
I feel like I have not a thought left.
I think we've covered it, and it's more thought than you can do from most comedy movies.
That's true.
That's very true.
Except anyone but you.
Except anyone but you. You know what? We used to mention it in every episode, and we've been slipping. Let's bring it back.
I know.
Sydney
That's
Sweeney,
why
I love
wanted
you.
to just call her out.
Cinematic masterpiece. Miss
Everyone
you.
needed to know we still love anyone but you.
We still love
Really?
anyone but you, and we still
And
love
we
Sydney
still
Sweeney.
love Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah. But now I
I'm
have
sure she's glad
some
to hear
important.
that.
Oh, she's watching. I know
Yes.
for a fact. But I have some important questions for both of you, and I'm gonna
Oh, no.
start with Ben.
Oh my god.
Yes,
Me?
Ben. What is your favorite part of being raised by Keith?
That's such a good question. Where do I start? No, that sounded sarcastic. but
October
it's-
30th, 1997 is where
October
I would
30th,
like to start.
1997. I was born.
In a
To
little
Diane
town.
Keith. No, my favorite part is that my father has always been very supportive and very I don't want to say, this is the only word I can think of, like cheerleader.
Love.
He's always there for me, and he always let me like pursue my dreams, and he's very like, he's always on the sidelines of like everything that I do and want to do. So that is one of the things I loved about being raised by Keith over there.
Well, thank
That was
you.
a beautiful answer.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
You're
now-
welcome.
Keith, I'm gonna ask you the same question.
Raised by Ben.
Your favorite part of Raised by Ben.
All the things Ben has taught me over the years.
Yes.
What's your favorite part of raising Ben and growing up, watching him grow up?
Growing up with Ben.
Watching him grow up.
You know, that's a long book in itself. Growing up with Ben.
I'd love to read it.
I should write it, actually.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things, you know, and I've told Ben this from time to time, the one thing I've enjoyed watching with Ben growing up is, in my lifetime, I've not seen a lot of people who are both intelligent and creative at the same time. And that's something I've always seen in Ben. He's always done really good in school or whatever he's put his mind to, but he's got this creative side that is unbelievable. And something just to sit back and watch and experience has absolutely been amazing.
Thank you.
Aww.
And
I
That's
agree.
so sweet.
I agree.
and he's always been a great kid. Yeah, well, you know, you always have childhood issues, but he's been a good kid. Ben's not one we've had to worry about, and it's been fun to watch him grow up and become the person he's become, and I'm very proud of him.
Oh, thank you.
Aw. That's so lovely.
I'm giving you an air hug from.
I was going to
from
say, we both
Baltimore.
got to hug a parent. We both didn't get to hug a parent because of
did.
FaceTime.
Yeah. Although I'm literally going home in 2 days.
That's
we
true.
can hug in 2 days.
Yeah, but
Aw. FaceTime
cannot
me,
film
Dad.
this episode in 2 days. That's for sure.
No. Absolutely
And
not.
always looking forward to seeing you again, Annabelle. We
Oh my
enjoy
gosh.
I'm not.
having you
Hey.
around too.
Thank you so much. I love coming to Jersey Shore, Pennsylvania. I was literally missing it the other day when I saw you guys at the beach. I was like, I want to be at the beach.
Stop.
It's getting FOMO.
That was the other Jersey Shore beach,
The
though.
other
but
Jersey
yes,
Shore.
That was,
Well,
that
yeah.
was but yes, you would have had fun there. The kids would have kept you running too.
Oh my gosh. Nolan said
absolutely.
your name out of like thin air
Oh.
just randomly
yes.
the other day.
I love Nolan. Tell him I miss him.
I would-
Well.
And tell Addie I miss her too. And Emily.
Oh, yeah.
I think I just saw Emily dash
What
by.
about
I don't know what
Ruby?
she's doing.
Oh, Miss Ruby. Emily's just on the run.
She was here. I don't know what she's doing, but she just passed by.
Well,
So
give her a wave for me.
Yeah,
I
give her a
will.
wave.
But-
But happy Father's Day.
Happy
Well, thank
Father's
you.
Day.
Thank you both very much.
And thank you for coming and talking about
Thank you so much
Groundhog
for being on the
Day.
pod.
Do we get to redo this whole thing again tomorrow, or
100%
Oh
every
my
day
gosh,
for the
we
next
will.
40 years.
Yep, for the next 40 years, we're going to do this
Everyone
exact
memorizes
thing
what they said
over
today.
again. That's so true. But
Well, thank you
I
for
think-
having me.
Anytime.
literally any time.
When you're ready to break down Airplane and What About Bob, let me know.
Yeah, we'll get you on.
We'll get you
and
back on.
Alistair can both come on for
The
Airplane.
Airplane.
Yeah.
So that would be fun.
I agree.
All right. Well,
Do you know how to lead us off? Do you know what we do?
Well, I'm going to assume it's sick. See you
Yeah.
next Tuesday.
See you next
See you next Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.